What you're going to see in this video is an example of a non-QM course. And I want to be very clear here before I get going that this course is in no way a bad course or a terrible course or something that should be scorned or is in some way deserving of any kind of public censure, right? The other thing I do want to make clear in this video is that this is not a direct course copy from someone. I was very careful about pulling from a bunch of different courses and kind of mismatching and making things up, and I built some of this myself and deleted things, and so this is a Frankenstein course. This is not something that came from someone in particular. So please don't think that when you watch this short video. But I do want to point out a few things about this non-example course that sort of go against the Quality Matters rubric. The first thing you'll notice is that there's no clear menu organization here. I know that this menu looks familiar because it's a version of one that we sort of used for a while. The difficulty here is that students have told us in data that they don't really understand the difference between course information versus course documents versus an assignment. It's hard for them to sort of internalize what is the difference between those three menu buttons. The other thing that this course lacks is a start here, which we know that students really need in order to orient themselves to the world of your online course. Other things that this course doesn't have, for example, if I go to assignments, there's no clear delineation between lab assignments versus lecture assignments. There's no real overall organization. When I click lecture assignments, I see that there's a test folder and then a weekly assignments folder, and there is some prompting here that this is essentially going to contain quizzes and things like that. But again, I'm not really sure as a student what the difference between taking the quiz or the test is. And then when I go into the assignments, I just see, well, this is week 1 folder, this is week 2 folder. There's no introduction to the content. There's no unit, week, or module learning objectives. So I, as a student, am just kind of hoping that when I click into these things, I'll know what I'm supposed to be doing. The other thing that this course has is a variety of documents placed in disorganized ways. So supplemental lecture materials seem to be hidden under course documents, but if I need those, I don't necessarily know that they'll be living under course documents. You'll also see that in terms of course information, there's not much besides the universal policies and procedures, which are required, the syllabus, and then a link to tutor track. So if I'm a student, I don't really get a sense of who my instructor is. I don't get a sense of what I need to be doing first. The course entry assignment, I haven't been able to find it yet, and I've been in this course for 5 or 10 minutes at this point. So these are just sort of general overall features of what Quality Matters is trying to avoid.